Hello and welcome to PalaceFanTV for our season preview video 2. Part 1 is already online, so if you haven't watched it yet, go and check it out on the PalaceFanTV YouTube channel. I'm Jim Daly, and with me are two very familiar faces if you've watched any of our previous videos. We've got Terence Ford from redandbluearmy.co.uk and Jay Crame from the Eagles Beak. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello.
Now in video 2, we're going to look back at Palace's pre-season campaign and talk a little bit about the results, the performances, and look forward to the first game of the season against Norwich. Now, pre-season Palace went all over the place. They went to Germany, they went to South Africa, they went to Dagenham. But how do we feel about Palace's pre-season as a whole in terms of results, Jay? Or do results not matter?
I don't think they really matter. As long as the management and the coaches get out of the games what they want to get out of them, then fine. I think we've seen a few decent performances throughout the, from individuals as such, not so much team performances, but it's difficult when you're making 10 substitutions in a game and changing players around, bringing new players in, new signings in. So I don't think you can take much from pre-season. I think it's been a bit of a mixture of games. Some performances I know fans weren't particularly happy with. But as long as the coaches and Pardew got out of those games what they wanted to, then I think they've achieved what they were meant to achieve.
Which individual performances for you stood out?
Well, for me, I think Sully Kaikai coming through is one of the big things. Seeing him play, and hopefully we might see him break through into the first team this season at different points. We don't know quite when that might be, but I think he's at a point where he could perhaps start coming on as a substitute in different games. Also for me, Soiree, we also mentioned in the previous video, he's impressed me this pre-season. The games he's played, particularly at Fulham at the weekend, I think he's shown that he looks to have settled, and he's going to nail down that left back spot and be a real critical part of our attacking game as well as defensively.
Now, Terence, you're a man that goes to a lot of games. Did you get to Germany?
Nope, I was in a stag do in Ibiza.
Did you get to South Africa?
I was at a wedding.
Oh, it's
it was
too
a wedding
much.
between two Palace fans, though. So,
okay, that's acceptable.
Naturally, obviously, knowing me, I'm gutted that I couldn't get to those games, especially Berlin. I would have loved to.
So you were crying during the wedding, but not for the happy couple.
Yeah, something like that.
So what's your thoughts on pre-season? Do you pay much attention to it? I got a few friends that actually don't ever pay attention to pre-season. They just wait till the first game of the season. So is it something that's more for the club than for the fans?
Yeah, I think for me for pre-season, I go just because you're kind of itching for a bit of football. Then it's run-outs. Effectively, you're getting people fit. People paying attention to results is pre-season when Balassi hasn't kicked a ball. You kind of know he's one of our best players. Zaha's barely kicked a ball. It's kind of like not really. We've not been playing our style of football. It's been a lot slower through the flanks, but we might talk about that later. But I think everyone's got a decent run out, and that's all you can really ask for in pre-season. We even managed to get Wickham onto the pitch just after we'd signed him a few hours later, so I think we've probably got out of it what we need.
There has been quite a few youngsters. We talked about Sully Kaikai. Quite a few other youngsters have played. Scales at left backs look quite good. Does that fill you with confidence that we might actually see quite a few maybe youth team players break in this season?
Yeah, with the way the 25 squad works, you're under 21 you can play. You're a free squad member. I think that will only benefit Kaikai this season. Perhaps as Palace fans, we always want to see people coming through our academy and getting into the team. And Kaikai might have that chance this season. Might maybe just be a season too early, but if we can get him a loan move to somewhere that's slightly bigger than Cambridge this season, no disrespect to Cambridge, and there's no Cambridge fans watching this, then it will work out best for him. If you look at Bamford, for example, the way he's progressed from MK Dons up to Derby and up to Middlesbrough and then so on. So we'll need that from him. I'll echo your thoughts on Soiree. I thought he's had a really good pre-season. And two more for me. Jordan Much lost a lot of timber over the summer. When we signed him, he had that QPR conditioning, which is fat. And so he's trimmed all that weight off, and I thought he's at points he's looked very, very good. And he wasn't in most people's reckonings for even getting a look in. And I think he's probably played himself into a position where Pardew needs to think about him. And I think Lee's really played well as well. In terms of if Balassi and Zaha aren't playing, he's that sort of winger who can keep wide but also get into central areas as well and unlock. So I think Lee will play an important part this season.
Pre-season has kind of proven that actually we've got a good depth, haven't we? Strength in depth, Jay.
Yeah, I think we touched on that in the first video, in that some of the signs we've made have just improved a squad which was already pretty strong. And really, when you look to improve a squad, you want to improve the options from the bench, and I think we've done that. It remains to be seen what players might leave the club, if there's going to be any leave at all. But I think we can be confident that we've got a lot of options available to us, and the majority of players have had a run out during pre-season, which I think is the key.
Now, speaking of options, obviously midfield is packed now with quality players, and as a result, in pre-season we've seen Jason Puncheon be forced out wide with Cabaye in the middle. Are you happy with that? A lot of fans would rather, I think, see Puncheon in the middle, but how do you fit him in when you've got so many options in central midfield?
It's very difficult, but I would say it's a long season. Particularly in any division, but particularly Premier League, when every game is so intense. Puncheon had a great second half of the season last year. Will he be able to do that for a whole season is perhaps a question. I think there could be a bit of changing around. Cabaye's probably going to miss the first game, so Puncheon will probably have that role. I struggle to see how they're going to play together unless Puncheon goes out wide. I don't think he's as effective out wide as he is in the middle, so I guess it'd be interesting to see what Pardew's views are on that. But also, midfield is jam-packed, and I echo Terence's thoughts on Much. I think he's had a brilliant pre-season. He stood out for me in a few games, both in South Africa, and he came on and against Fulham in the second half, and he made a change to that game as well. And I know it's a pre-season friendly, but I think he looked trim, and he looked good on the ball as well. So where you're saying we brought in Cabaye, and we've also got a strong midfield, I think a lot of people have forgotten about Much as well. Because I think for me, last season, he looked one of the strongest players in terms of ball possession and being able to use the ball last season when he did play for us. So you can't discount him.
What I did find interesting though, you say Cabaye and Puncheon can't play in the same team. What I didn't realise, I got tweeted the other day by a new Twitter account, 59 followers I think it had, called Statistico Soccer. And it was a brilliant article on Palace, very, very well thought out, looked at all the statistics, and one of them I had to check up. I was like, that can't be right. Cabaye, in his last season at Newcastle, combined more tackles and interceptions than Mile Jedinak.
Really?
Which suggests to me that he can play a bit deeper than perhaps we suspect that he can. France playing there when they play him, so he can obviously play the role. And the way Puncheon ended last season, I just don't see how you can take him out of that advanced role. He did so well there, he affected so many games in a positive fashion that I feel it would be unfair to take him out of that position and put him into, we're so used to at Palace, we have been for years, fast wingers, and Puncheon, the only criticism for him when he plays wide, he slows the game down too much.
Well, he wants to cut inside on his left peg.
Exactly right, so you want to keep him in the middle where it's okay for him to slow the game down because that's the right thing to do in there. So for me, it would be, you're looking at Jedinak or MacArthur, and again, I don't see how you leave MacArthur out at the moment, and Cabaye sitting a bit deeper with Puncheon ahead.
But if Cabaye sits deep, you've then got one from three players, Jedinak, MacArthur or Joe Ledley, all excellent first-team players. What do you do? It's a manager's nightmare, but the one they like having, isn't it?
Well,
Cliched number 2.
For us, it's very new for us as fans as well, because we're just used to having an 11.
Yeah.
And then it's like, one gets injured, we're like,
now what?
What are we going to do? Like, have we got any, like Neil Warnock? We got anyone in the youth team that can run? So for us, it's a new thing. So we're learning how to cope with having a squad of quality players. You're talking Joe Ledley, highest passing percentage at the football club last season, and he's barely on anyone's team sheet.
Yeah.
And you know, it's
interesting. Does it depend maybe on who we're playing against? Will it be some games you'll need Cabaye a bit further forward, and some games you might want him back? Is that now the benefit we have from having such a big squad?
I think so. I think if the one that's going to suffer for me is perhaps Jedinak, in the fact that he's not going to play that as many games as he did last year for us, particularly with the options that are now available. He will play some games, because I think some of the games, particularly games against Stoke, West Brom, he'd be perfect to play those sorts of roles in those games because he's big, strong. The only downside to him is that passing of the ball, although I have noticed an improvement in that in pre-season when he has played, but the games are slower, so has more time on the ball. But I've always wondered, or always thought, that Jedinak might actually make the move back to centre back. I think he's perfectly built for that role. Not great at passing the ball, but he's strong in the tackle and good in the air. I've always wondered whether that would be a position where whether it's at Palace or whether it's at another club, I don't know. But
it would be a way for him to elongate his career. It's a big word.
Is that a word? Yeah, I think it's a word.
To play a little bit longer, because he definitely has the attributes to play centre back, and Damien Delaney showed even in Premier League standards you don't necessarily need that much pace to play at centre back at the highest level. John Terry is another one playing into his advanced years with no pace and still dominating at the back. So I think it would be a good move for Jednak eventually. Maybe it'd be the answer to our centre back problems. Who knows?
Well, look, chaps, we're talking about lineup. Shall we try and pick our lineup for the first game of the season, which is away at Norwich? Are you going?
Of course, I'm paying an extortionate price for a ticket.
Well, that's a subject for another video.
Hashtag 20's plenty.
Are you going to be there, Jay?
unfortunately, not. I'm away for that game. I'm missing the first game of the season, but I'll be there in spirit.
I'll be there in spirit as well, because I will be at Edinburgh Festival. Jekyll and Hyde every day from 2 p.m. So check it out. Right, we're going to try and pick our team for the first game of the season, which is away at Norwich City here at this lovely whiteboard. Now, first position is debatable already because with Speroni injured, it's up between Hennessy and McCarthy. Both have played in pre-season. Who do we go for, chaps, in goal?
I think I said in the previous video, Hennessy's got to be really upset if he doesn't start. Being here last season, patiently waiting in the wings, Pardew giving him his chance at the end of the season. I think for me, it probably has to be Hennessy. He probably could have done better with a goal at Fulham. I think he got down a bit slowly to that. I don't know if that has to do with him being a tall man, but...
McCarthy's come in, though, not played at QPR, come in 4 games. So should he not be starting?
Good question. I think there's a surprise in there. I think John Salako should go goal.
Yeah,
I still remember the night when he went in goal when Nigel Martin got sent off. So you know, he'd be on.
Should we put Johnny Sullivan?
Salako,
well, I'm going to make an argument for Clint Hill if that's the case.
Okay.
In goal.
I think we're getting away from the point, chaps. Let's go for Hennessy or McCarthy. We're thinking probably Hennessy.
I'm thinking it's probably Hennessy will get the nod.
I'm going Hennessy because he's been at the club for longer. McCarthy's only just come in.
How many E's and S's does he have in his
WH.
name?
WH.
No, I'm going to do it.
Tense.
I think I spelled that wrong, but there we go. Wayne Hennessy is in goal for us. The back 4 takes care of itself.
I think it's the back 4 started Fulham for me. It's probably
although is Delaney going to be fit? I know he went off with an injury, so he might be questionable.
Yeah.
But yeah, he would be. He would be my choice. Yeah, he would be my choice if he's fit. Delaney alongside Dan.
Delaney, Dan.
Who would replace Delaney if not fit?
Hangeland, I think at the moment.
What about Adrian Mariappa? We haven't spoken about him.
Hasn't featured at all in pre-season, has he?
He's been at the Gold Cup, hasn't he?
Oh, of course he has.
They had a long. Yeah, he's probably had an extended break. Did
well,
actually,
good, yes. Got to the final.
Yeah,
that would have been more than Jamaica could have expected to start.
Definitely.
Jobby McAnuff did really well for them as well.
Former Palace. There we go. So we've got Hennessy in goal, and the back 4, which I think we can all agree on, probably takes care of itself, is Ward, Dan, Delaney and Suarez. This is where the debate starts now in central midfield. We're assuming Palace are going to play their 2 defensive midfielders. Who gets the nod for... No, now Cabaye might be injured. Do we go with defensive-minded people like Jednak and Nedley, or do we go a bit more attacking?
I think we might differ greatly here in terms of the team looking at, because Balassi, it looks like, isn't no pre-season time. Zaha, barely any pre-season time. So for me, you're just looking where it works further forward. So for me, I think it's going to be Lee and Puncheon who will be starting wide. So for me, that you're going to end up, I think, with Jednak and McArthur, holding for me, I think will be the 2.
How do you feel about that, Jay?
I actually agree with that. I think it's going to be a safe option first game of the season. Go with what we know. I think Pardew's going to do that.
I'm going to go Jedi to save time. And
I think with Cabaye injured, I think it makes our choice a little bit easier.
Who gets the nod in this number 10 spot?
See, so this is what I'm saying. So for me, I think it will be, you'll have Puncheon left, Lee right, and I think you're going to see Bamford in here and Wickham ahead.
Interesting.
Is what you're going to get for me. It could go to McJedley. It could be McJedley.
Which worked for us. It's worked for us in the past, hasn't it?
It could be. I just think Bamford's played so much in pre-season. I feel like he wants to give him the nod.
Okay.
But
And then we're assuming that Balassi and Zaha are not available.
That would be my assumption. There is an argument that Zaha could start. He played at Bromley. He looks a little bit rusty. He looked like a footballer that hadn't played football for a while.
Although he played well when he came on against Fulham.
Exactly.
He played very well.
He did play very well. So there could be an argument that Zaha will start ahead of Lee.
Should we give Wilf a start with Punch, even though we've said previously that Punch, we don't like him out wide, but we think it probably will happen?
Yeah.
Punch and Wilf on the wings?
You can see it both. I could see it being either Zaha or Lee, but
okay.
I mean, if Zaha's fit and Pardew feels like he's ready to go, of course it's a no-brainer. You play Zaha.
Yeah.
Let's go for Punch and Zaha. Of course, interchangeable. In fact, I'm going to do a little arrow like that. There you go, interchangeable. They can switch wings. So it's the two men up top. Well, it's the one behind. We're assuming Wickham, having recently joined for a lot of money, will start, and we think Bamford might.
I disagree. I don't think Wickham will start.
Interesting. Who is it? You think?
I think Murray will start. Go with what we know. I think Pardew will be in a similar mindset. Wickham's only just joined. He had a good spell, playing for Palace last night against Dagenham. Whether that's enough to get in the starting spot against Norwich, I'm not sure.
It's interesting. We don't know how. I haven't paid much attention to how much he played at Sunderland in pre-season, whether he's played any games and any minutes behind him. So,
and Norwich away does feel like one of those games that's made for Murray, isn't it? One of those games where you need the guy up top who's working hard and battering the defenders.
Yeah.
Actually, but there's that first game of the season. Pardew wants to go.
Bang.
I can't play Kabaya. Here's my other big signing, kind of thing.
Certainly see him from the bench.
From the bench. So maybe Murray up top, but with the new signing in Bamford behind. So at least you're getting one new signing there.
Yeah, it's tough to know really, but I think it. As I say, I think it will be Bamford and Wickham.
Okay. Well, let's compromise and go Bamford and Murray as our two up top. There we go.
Because Bamford, as I said again in the previous video, he looks very, very good in dropping deep. Very kind of for me, it was Friedman-esque for me in the way that he found space in between the lines. I've
left a lot of space between defence and midfield there, so the big gap. So there might be some strikers nipping in. There you go. That's our lineup.
So if we do some more tactics, so Delaney, there's the long ball.
yeah, that'll definitely happen. Yeah.
Well, is that going to Zaha or is that going over the out?
This is Jedi passing to a teammate and just off. There you go.
And if we can just put Suarez up there, I think that's about right.
This is why it should be right on the touchline. You have Ren crossing right, so there's no space left.
Good, okay, so that's our predicted lineup for the first game of the season away at Norwich. Let's see if that comes true or not. Now, to round off this video, I've got another quiz. As you know, I love a quiz. To see how much the guys have been paying attention to pre-season for Palace so far. So here we go. Question number 1. How many goals did Palace concede in pre-season? So quick as you can, don't.
6.
6.
6 is correct.
The answer is 9.
Do one.
The answer
3 at Barnet.
The answer is 9.
I didn't count the 3 at Barnet.
Yeah.
There you go. Unlucky chap. I feel like Jeremy Paxman pushing you for answers. Question number 2. Who was Palace's top goal scorer in pre-season?
Dwight Gow.
Campbell.
And for a bonus point, can you tell me how many goals they got?
4.
I was going to say 3, but
Campbell got 2, I think.
Terry is spot on. Gale with 4. Absolutely spot on. Next was Bamford with 3. Of course, a hat-trick against Bromley. So you can still get back in it, Jay, don't worry, because I'm going to offer 100 points for this last one. Which kit did Palace wear most in pre-season, home or away? 7 games.
Away.
Correct, away, 4-3. Well done. So you got 100 points, but you lost to Terry because he also got 100 points. So there you go, well done. Thank you for watching this PalaceFanTV season preview video here at the Victory Club in Noriwch Junction. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos throughout the season and comment below with your thoughts on Palace's pre-season and what you think the lineup might be for the game against Norwich. See you again very soon. Cheers.